Hi guys, I'm Jeremy Bout, the founder as well as the host of the Edge Factor show. As a storyteller, I get the privilege to see the world through the lens, and I often find that I learn things from an entirely new perspective. As I crisscrossed North America over the last year, I've met and I've spoken with and learned so much from the Indigenous community. And in this session together, I want to share some of the things that I'm learning. In preparation to go on camera before this talk, I decided to put on my headphones and go for a walk. I often find that being out in the open with the big sky, the beautiful nature, and with some music, it helps me to organize and clear my mind. And as I was walking, the wind was blowing in a great northern storm, and as I battled my way through the windy snow, I was reminded of a moment just a few weeks earlier, and I was given the privilege to film with the Guyana Say Longhouse. I was there to film with two women, Tiara and grandmother Renee. I arrived early to walk the grounds. It was snowy, it was blowing, and then as I approached the longhouse, there was grandmother Renee. And she was chipper, she was on time, she had battled her way through the elements, and she was completely loving it, every minute of it. I will tell you that grandmother Renee is one resilient and strong woman, and as we talked and as we walked, I could see that she was not only strong, but she was also very gentle. And so as we move through this session, I want to let the Indigenous voices speak to us. Let them help us learn some foundational lessons. I think they'll help all of us as we look to the future.
I always struggled with figuring out what I wanted to do with my life and find a certain career path.
High school I didn't take seriously.
I was really introverted. I think a lot of Indigenous youth probably feel the same way.
I didn't apply myself. It actually took me 7 years to graduate out of high school. I was there to play sports. I was there for the social aspect of it.
Sometimes you just have to take that big leap forward and, you never know the outcome.
I just love my job. This is my job site.
I found myself coming out of my shell, getting out of my comfort zone.
I see all the avenues and opportunities there are for young men and women,
which made me feel more alive, you know what I mean?
I went for it, and I'm glad I did.
It's good to try new things.
It suits my lifestyle, and I love it.
Great people to work with.
to have job opportunities all around the world, which is amazing when you think about it.
Get a job in the trades, because it is such a great experience. I learned so much.
It's a great career.
I try to push myself to be better and see where my errors were so I could correct them.
Actually go out there and experience new things. That's what helps you figure out what you want to do with your life.
A big thing that has always driven me has been the community that I come from, being Aboriginal.
I'm more than lucky to be working here.
I encourage anybody to get into the trades. It is an awesome experience.
I want it to be somebody that I could be proud of, and I want it to be somebody that would inspire other kids. You can make something of yourself.
And here I am today, doing something that I thoroughly enjoy.
I am Brianna, and I'm a welder in training.
My journey's been a successful one.
And my name is Ikilo Akimbila. I'm a boat builder.
Hi, I'm Ronaldo Bosky. I'm a professional truck driver.
Dry stone waller.
And I enjoy getting up every day for work.
Believe in yourself.
You'll find the right thing you'd love to do.
I'm a huge fan, as most of you know, of spending time with people who take ideas from their heads and then connect it with their hands. As a manufacturer turned filmmaker myself, I love capturing skilled people doing what they do. In the next few minutes, I hope to share some of the things that I have learned from the skilled Indigenous people who allowed me to listen and to learn from their stories. The first lesson comes from Mark, from a construction site in Ottawa.
The construction industry works from the ground up, creating the houses, schools, and offices that we spend time in every day.
Hi, it's Mark here for the Ojibwe Nation. And in school, I was all about playing music. I was in band, and that's what I spent my time doing. Then after school, the band stopped and I moved to the trades, which was actually very amazing for me.
In construction, teams of diverse tradespeople and professionals come together to make sure a building is completed on time, within budget, and according to the client's needs. Carpenters are responsible for building the layout and overall structure of the building.
And I learned so much, became successful at it, And if I could share any of my success, I would give you guys 2 tips. One most important tip is show up every day. Cold, hot, raining, doesn't matter, show up. And you'll beat the first battle.
The construction industry is looking for people who are willing to work hard and work smart. They need strength, enthusiasm, and teamwork skills on site every day.
The second is, be open, a sponge, and suck in knowledge from everyone. You might not think the person next to you has anything to share, but just keep your ears open, and that will help you a lot along the way.
I really appreciated his insights. If you're not present, you can't grow. It seems simple, but it's profound. So many employers that I've met have said the same thing. If you are consistent, if you can be trusted to show up, then you will be trusted with the gift of training. And when you do engage, the coworkers around you, I'll tell you what, they'll be willing to invest in you. As Mark explained, show up. But I would also add this, seek out good counsel. Try to find that person who's the best at what they do, show an interest in their skills, and then be the sponge and learn from them. But if you settle for staying in the background, or even worse, sponging from the wrong people, or perhaps most deadly of all, not even showing up, you can't expect to progress. You know, for some, this openness, this idea of being open to new things, that is a challenge. Maybe it even scares you a little bit. Meeting new people can be uncomfortable, but this brings us to our second lesson on courage. I was out on the film tour. I was scheduled to come in with the Edge Factor tour bus to visit Manitoulin Island, and my team was looking for one more story. They wanted to create a video that covered boat building, and so they cold called this place called Henley Boats. The team that took the call, they didn't know us from anyone, but they invited us in, and they were willing to go on camera so that students could see what they do. When I showed up on site, I saw another important character trait in action: courage. I met Ikalua Timala. It was clear this was way outside of his comfort zone. It was new. It was uncomfortable for him. This going on camera, he did it, but I'm sure that he was tempted to say to his boss, "You take this one." He didn't. He put the mic on, and he taught me many things that day. Check it out.
These are the boats, a few boats that we build. All the manufacturing happens inside here at Henley. And we start off by using 3/16 or a 1/4" plate here. Roll out the sheet here to make the lap strack side. And this is the machine. We're ready to put the gussets in. We shape it from there, put the transom in. This is a lap strack here. We're just seeing the machine there. And then this is the hull, and that's where it all starts. The gussets are all welded in, the middle, sides, while other boat builders use different materials. Here at Henley, we use aluminum, all types of aluminums here. There's angle, there's square tube, as you can see. And this is a polished weld. I polished that. And put a nice bead on it. Everything's welded, custom made here.
I think it's important as you get into the workplace that you learn that it will be an act of courage to try new things. I hope that Ikalua feels proud of the fact that he's able to demonstrate great welding and boat building skills. But I will tell you, I also felt proud for him that he did something that was uncomfortable. And I might add, he did it really well. I know that it takes courage to try new things, but therein lies the magic and potentially the opportunity as well. I hear from so many employers, this is a character trait that makes someone stand out on their staff. You know, another trait that is incredibly valuable is the willingness to smile. Smile while you work. And that is what I remember so well from the shoot that I did at Rainbow Golf Course.
The hospitality industry helps people find ways to enjoy their leisure time, to socialize and enjoy an experience.
When I was younger, I used to be introverted, but I feel as though Indigenous youth today also probably feel the same way. But when I started at the golf course, I found myself coming out of my shell, getting out of my comfort zone, which made me feel like more alive, you know what I mean?
The hospitality industry is focused on leisure and customer satisfaction. On a golf course, this means making sure that guests are treated well and that all aspects of the course are in good condition. The hospitality industry is diverse, and there are so many different careers to choose from.
I just think that once you get out of your comfort zone, you need to try new things. Because if you're still in your shell, I don't think you'll ever go anywhere. But I feel like if you get out of there, you'll find the right thing you'd love to do.
Learning to show enthusiasm is the third lesson that I want to share. The enthusiasm that I felt from these young women was contagious. It made me want to smile right along with them. I know that an enthusiastic and half-glass full attitude, it comes easier to some, but it's valuable to all. A team is far more productive if there is a can-do attitude, an enthusiasm, and a willingness to stay positive. It will also allow a team to do hard things, solve big problems, and create excellent customer experiences. Enthusiasm does not mean a fake smile or hiding from or skirting around problems, but it does mean that when you deal with these things head on, that you do it with an encouraging and an enthusiastic attitude. I felt the same warmth of character when the tour bus did a stop at the Arnprior Dam on the mighty Madawaska River, and I got to spend a little bit of time with a guy named John Paul.
The power generation industry uses water, wind, solar sources, and other natural resources to generate the electricity that powers our lives every day.
So I started as an apprentice electrician in 2001. Now I find myself working for OPG. It's a very fulfilling career, great people to work with. The safety culture is second to none.
Without power generation, modern life as we know it would not be possible. Electrical utilities breathe life into manufacturing plants, healthcare centers, households, and everything in between. The power generation industry is looking for people who are ready to take on the energy challenges that face our society through hard work and innovative thinking.
I work very hard every day, stay committed to my job, look at all the beautiful places I work in, believe in yourself, and hopefully someday you can work in a great company like OPG.
As JP and I toured the dam site, I was given the overview of how water and gravity can be harnessed to create electricity. I marveled how many different careers were intersecting this one facility, but I was also struck by the disciplined way that JP and the team ran this facility. I've always taken for granted that the grid will work. We all know how frustrating it is when the power goes out. JP's discipline and methodical character is so crucial for the power grid to stay operational, and I'm thankful for the skilled people who are keeping this thing going. As I walked that dam, though, another thought ran through my mind. It was the intensity of the structure that needed to be built on the bed of this river, and it brought to mind another visit that I had earlier that summer with Wayne, a carpenter that helps to build hydroelectric dams. And while we spoke about many things, Wayne challenged me on the importance of math skills and the discipline of learning.
Hello, if you look around this job site, that you'll know that there's a lot of math involved in the construction field. And as simple as this form here, somebody had to do a calculation on material list to make the form. Somebody's going to have to do calculations to see how much concrete we need to fill this form and make it level, flat working surface. If you look at this wall here, somebody had to do calculations, me, to see how much plywood I needed to cover my wall system, how many studs I needed to to make my wall, how much lumber I needed to make my bottom and top plates, and there's just a lot of math involved. And like the construction field is always changing, and it's always looking for good, smart people, knowledgeable with some half-decent math skills, and it's trigonometry, geometry, multiplication, addition. So it's being used every day. Calculate how much concrete we're going to need for this form, how much length of lumber we need, how much concrete we need, plywood. There's always calculations going on every day. So if you're slacking in math, you better buckle up, because one of the most important skills that you'll need out here.
When I was on site with Wayne, I was amazed by scaffolding being wrapped around that pier that they had just built. They started down at the foundation though, the bedrock of the river, and everything was built up, and I felt like that's what Wayne was trying to tell us. If you want a great career in the trades, or anywhere for that matter, make sure that you have the foundational skills. And some of these will start right where you are right now. The math classroom, maybe it's the writing classroom, even watching Edge Factor videos. We have a library of media that will help you go deep as you prepare for a career. The thing that continues to amaze me though, when I go into a site like I did, and you look at the landscape, it can be really easy to miss the opportunities that are all over the place. And when I visited the Bruce Power nuclear site, I have to admit, I was not thinking broad enough. But that changed after listening and learning from a young woman named Danielle.
So here at Bruce Power, we have a variety of careers that are available, from being a nuclear operator like myself to maintenance, control maintenance, electricians, welders, doctors. We have lawyers. We also have nurses, management, engineers, scientists, physicists. There's a wide variety of careers that you could pursue and be employed at Bruce Power long term. We want to help you advance your career, and if you display skills such as effective communication, good ethics, and good community involvement, we want you to work here and we want to help you advance your career.
Danielle was clear in her message. They're looking for bright and dedicated people that they can invest into, a new generation that they can trust. The reality is that Danielle herself is a young woman, and yet I watched her with her team. She's a trusted leader. And if she was not trustworthy, would you and I even want her in a leadership position? Why does it matter to you and I? Because the Bruce Power team, they generate some of the largest sources of power for the grid. Danielle's leadership ultimately would affect our greater community using the product that they create. I'm hoping that at this point, these stories are helping you just be infused with a desire to step up and step out of your comfort zone. I remember that's how I felt after visiting a mining site and getting fired up with a meeting of a young apprentice. He was a millwright apprentice named Samson.
The mining industry extracts and processes the valuable materials found within the earth.
So when I was in grade 12, I thought I was going to go to university, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So I took an extra half year of grade 12. So grade 12 plus, I graduated, and that extra time gave me the opportunity to realize that university in a classroom setting wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get into the trades and work with my hands and learn as I go. And so I went to Cambrian College for 2 years and completed the Industrial Mechanical Millwright course. And after that, I received work at Valet as a millwright apprentice, and I couldn't be happier. I'm learning more as I go, and every day there's something new.
The materials produced by the mining industry are used in nearly everything we touch, from airplanes to consumer electronics. The millwright maintains the heavy machinery used in the mill, ensuring that these critical resources are processed properly.
So when I first started at Clarabelle Mill, I didn't really know what to expect when I was being told I'd be starting at a mining site. And one of the first things I noticed when I walked through this building was just the size of the equipment. Like, you look behind me and you can see the overhead crane, and for me personally, it's the largest overhead crane that I've worked with. And just even the ball mill and all the components that need to be working to get that mill to spin. Not such a large piece of equipment spinning is truly incredible to think about. And if I didn't take the millwright program or get into a millwright apprenticeship, I would never be seeing these things. And I think it's just incredible that I get to see it on a day-to-day.
The mining industry is looking for people who are ready to take on the challenges of big equipment and dig into a rewarding career.
Here at Vale, they're a global competitor, which means they have job opportunities all around the world, which is amazing when you think about it. And as a young Indigenous man coming from Oklahoma, Manitoulin Island, I'm more than lucky to be working here. And I see all the avenues and opportunities there are for young men and women, and I think Vale is a perfect place to start your career.
In our journey so far, we have met carpenters, electricians, hospitality experts, safety supervisors, power engineers, and a millwright. But as I close out this session, I also want to pull in a few thoughts from my conversations with Sean Adler. He's an owner and entrepreneur, and he started the award-winning restaurant called Powwow Cafe.
So a word on timing. So in the kitchen, basically, I think what they say to become a professional at anything is you need 10,000 hours. Then you're a professional. Hiring other chefs and cooks to come and work for me is always a challenge, I think, because timing is everything, but it hasn't been made everything. Everybody watches Netflix and Mind of a Chef videos and all of these videos, and they go to culinary school, but at the end, they haven't put in their 10,000 hours. So their timing isn't quite in line with what it needs to be to become a professional chef. They want to use tweezers instead of tongs. They might, be able to like take one plate and make one plate at a time, make it look real pretty with raw ingredients and be an artist. But when it comes down to the real cooking in a real restaurant live, cranking out 100 covers in a day, they just can't do it. They haven't put in the time. So timing is everything right from the very beginning, Generally, historically in the culinary world, you'd put in way more than 10,000 hours before you could even, basically stand on this line. You'd be doing prep, you'd be washing dishes, whereas now, everything, we're living in an internet age. You want to know information, you want to do things, you see it once online and then you're a professional. That's just not the case. You need repetition and practice to become the chef that you one day want to be. So that's a word on timing.
Well, I find myself looking back and reflecting on the lessons that I learned from these quiet and yet powerful voices. Mark challenged me. Am I showing up and looking to sponge up information from others? Ikadua reminded me that courage can simply be the willingness to try something new, to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Lyric showed me that enthusiasm mixed with the courage to try something new will spawn opportunity. John Paul's disciplined and methodical approach to his work really impacted and challenged me to recognize that disciplined behaviors will make a solid foundation for my career. Wayne, he was so clear math is used in the real world, so don't rob yourself by disengaging. It may not always feel relevant, but Wayne is living and breathing proof that this matters. Danielle's example of trustworthy leadership made me ask myself, can I be trusted? Am I trustworthy enough that others will invest in me? Samson is dedicated and resilient in his pursuit to become the best millwright that he can be. He's excited to know that his future is bright. And so as we wrap all of this up, I know that for many of you, the future may feel uncertain, scary even. One thing I know is that if you apply some of the lessons that we've learned here today, you will overcome obstacles, you will climb the mountains, and you will no doubt have a bright future. I hope you've enjoyed the art of learning through the lens. Edge Factor's e-learning platform is filled with thousands of stories and career videos, virtual reality experiences, lesson plans, quizzes. I'll tell you what, we would love to hear from you on how you're using our platform in your school or in your community. Just send us a note at info@edgefactor.com. And before we go, we want to say a special thank you to our sponsors. Thank you guys so much for supporting this event. We really appreciate you guys.